Hello everybody, I'm Techno Void, your host, and I promise Meteor Bauer I'm totally gonna use that dropout subscription at some point, and with me is your Fate analyst, probably, Diggory. Hi Diggory, what's up?
Hello, I'm filling in here for Hamster this week.
He's filling in, because, what we've always been saying is, when it comes to fades, sure, I know a thing or two, but Diggory is the real expert. So we figured we'd get a real
Oh
expert
no.
in this week to tell us all about what type Valorate is. Because, it's water
You know,
electric, we all know this. There
I
is one
definitely think
water
that's a water
electric
type.
type. There's one water electric type in this format, and its name is Valorade.
I'm slinging ground moves at that thing.
It's probably not good. Oh, well, it's okay. Just have meteor or not. Just have Peanut Scratch use gravity first, because he loves using gravity on Boggle, and I don't know why. It's not good. Okay, so just because you're new here, I don't know what FDL is. Can you tell me a little bit about what FDL is for the viewer who definitely doesn't know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so FDL is a draft league comprised within the Faedos region, which is a fan region by yours truly, Techno Void.
God,
over
you're
here.
so boring.
What?
I'm just yes. I wanted to see where you'd go with that, but you just started saying like facts and true things. What's wrong with
I
you?
thought I was supposed to be the analyst here.
Well, that's fair. All right, well, let's just get into straight into match 1. So this was honestly a week that was really hard to choose good games for, because not because none of the games were good, which is sometimes what happens, but because all the games were good. I think we had a lot of really solid matches here. Especially, and I know I'm slightly biased, I think pretty much all of the Hamster Wings versus Technovoid matches were really, really good. So I struggled to choose one, but we ended up going with match 1. There's some shout outs I want to give, but mainly I think there is a lot of prep Hamster did into this match, which was really, really solid into me specifically. And with Draft League, I don't know how you feel about this, Diggory, but there's always sort of this, I feel like, imbalance in how much do you prep team specific versus how much do you prep just what your team is good at. Because
Yeah.
in some situations I feel like it's just don't try and like gimmick through the enemy team. Like I would never, like Bander gets like sludge bomb and stuff. It's like, ooh, that's good for fairy types, dude. I have like dark pulse armor cannon or a dark pulse mega launcher. Like just do what the thing is good at. But then sometimes you do want to prep around the opponent, and so how do you feel about that generally?
I think that the two sides of it are like, if you have a game plan that's strong and you've built your team well, I would always recommend just playing your own game plan. And if you want to do prep into the opponent, what you should do is just maybe watch your opponent's matches and see how they play, and more to like try to get a read on their playstyle versus having like spare coverage in every spot possible for a random Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I always say go for your own game plan.
Go for it. Yeah, and I mean, when it comes to Hamster, when it comes to having a solid game plan out the gate, I mean, he obviously has it. But I was still impressed by some of the things that got brought that we'll see in this match, and I can also talk about. One thing that I will say going into this match, I was fully anticipating Teminrel fighting, just using body press over and over, because I frankly do not have an answer to that, and I'm pretty sure it just kills everything on my team. Between body press and suppression, my whole team straight up loses. I don't have a single mon that resists either of those, or both
Oh, I
of those
mean,
rather.
yeah, like your team is unfortunately has like you could bring two types into you, and that covers everything. It's either fighting with Ghost or fighting with Dark, and that covers everything on your team.
Yeah, and notably, body press is a fighting type move, and suppression is a dark type move, and
Yep.
they both based on the defenses, which are both what Teminrel has. So I was fully anticipating fighting type Teminrel. Hamster Wings was also fully anticipating that I'd be anticipating fighting type Teminrel because it's extremely good into me and brings Fairy instead. Now this is a problem for me, because I do not have a single Pokemon on my team that can hit Fairy types. Now you can say Calorps can hit Fairy types, but the fact is Calorps is not fucking coming to any of these matches because it's garbage into this matchup.
You have run Gyro Ball on Colors before.
Yes.
Was that not here this week?
It is not here this week. I built the Colorp set at fully knowing I would never bring Colorps into any of these games, just because it loses so hard to, Teminol kills it with body press, Gridlug kills it with a ground move, Discrom kills it, I mean, it's not a good matchup into any of these guys, so I really,
Yeah.
I did, like, I don't see a fairy type on, Hamstring's team naturally, and it never crossed my mind that he would bring Teminral Fairy, and so that's sort of a prep loss on my part, and I think that was really smart of him. Just from an outside view, from your perspective of someone who wasn't prepping for this match, what do you see as the biggest threats here on either side?
Well, so like you pointed out a big one, which is basically your normal counters to fairy, even typing wise, are defensive. Like Colorps and Jelster are both really defensive Pokemon, which means if you have a bulky fairy type, it's going to be hard for those Pokemon to break it fast. So that's obviously something. I think Gridlug is a menace, and like that's true every single week. But looking at this, like I don't see great ways aside from the only ice type in the entire region that you're going to hit the Gridlug, and honestly I feel like that thing is so frail that Gridlug could probably kill it with a Headlong Rush or something like that.
Yeah, I will say Jelster does have psychic type moves, but obviously Jelster doesn't want to be in against Gridlug as well because of the ground typing. Like Puppist gets psychic moves. Bandert gets like Mega Launcher, Unstable Pulse being a special variant of Psycho Cut. So I do have some good psychic coverage on this team, and I do bring it. But I think despite Gridlug's score this season, which has been kind of mediocre, it's a really strong Bond, and it has continually been a problem to just get off the field. Once it comes on the field, it does what it wants to do, and it does not care.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to take down in more than like sometimes even like 3 hits it's gonna take. And in those 3 hits, it's gonna be able to spread out a lot of damage. And in a format where there's 4 mon total,
it's a high value. Yeah, it's a high value bring. Absolutely. All right, well let's play this one out. Let's see how this goes. All right, so he's leading. I see this, I'm like, is he going fake out Trick Room? Like, I don't know what he's doing. Obviously, I send out 2 physical. Yeah, I send out 2 physical attackers and immediately get intimidated, which is great.
Yeah, I don't know if you had this on anyone, but I feel like I've not seen a lot of people run Clear Amulet into these Intimidators. And I'm not sure why. It's a good item.
It is a good item. Yeah. You have you brought Clear Amulet once?
I have brought Clear Amulet. Okay. I also have a Defiant and Inner Focus, so it's less of an issue for me, but
that's true, yeah. So then Gridlug comes in. So I was anticipating the fake out there, and so I guess I could talk about this now. This is a Scarf Ravarus. I don't think we're gonna see this again in this match. This is a Scarf Ravarus. My idea here is literally just Scarf Karmic Justice into my own guy. He unburdened weaknesses policy, and now he's super fast and can get a free kill on anything on the field. So that's what I was doing, but then I see Discrom come in, and so I'm like, okay, well, the nice thing about Karmic Justice is that it can kill Discrom as well, and I'm expecting the fake out, so I go for that. And then of course Riggerdeal just Trick Rooms, and now I'm so screwed.
Well, you would probably have been more screwed if you had gotten extremely fast in Trick Room. So
the thing is, I would have if I had done that, I would have just killed a guy. Like the other, yeah, because the other option was if he led two slow mons, I would have Karmic Justice myself, and then I would have killed Riggerdeal with close combat before it would have gone TR up.
Gotcha.
So that was the idea.
That's a rough lead in general to deal with these things.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that's one of the things is between Teminal Fairy and Riggerdeal is dealing with the who's doing the TR. I have not fake out. I have Taunt on this team on Jelster, but not this. We live in those. We procking anyways.
It's crazy that you live that.
I love that knockoff doesn't go through Sash, my beloved. And wow, look at that! Wow, another. Everyone's running weakness policy this week.
Yeah, but then thankfully Triple Axle is enough to break through that in one hit, which is contradicting what I said earlier. So good for.
Well, that's because I am +1 right now.
That's true. The +1 helps.
Yeah, I mean when I came out and it was intimidated at -1, it definitely wasn't killing it. At 0, it might not have as well. Somewhat ironically, the whole strategy I was talking about, the Karmic Justice into my own guy, I don't think Hamster did it. But he literally had the same idea of weakness policy and psychic fangs on Ecubus to proc his own. So we kind of same brain celled that. But now we have a problem. Now we have a real problem for me because we have 2 slow guys. I'm almost dead, and I don't have a way to deal with fairy types, so this is bad for me. So
yeah, this is stall out Trick Room time.
Yeah, and luckily we get a miss there for me. So I am stalling out Trick Room. Of course, I really needed that speed boost, and I really needed that attack
and the
throw.
negative attack.
Yeah, no, it's so good. We're so happy about it.
Reverse remembered he was intimidated last time and said, "Let me set that back up."
Exactly. Most damage I'm ever gonna do this to this thing. I will say the reason I switched out and I just hard switched Reverse in is because at this point I didn't really need it as much, and I really wanted Puppist to survive post Trick Room because of that, because of Sleep Powder.
Yeah, I think that's Puppist's like best quality. Honestly, it's just fast Sleep Powder. It's you were talking about psychic coverage earlier. I just don't think it has the special attack stat to really flex coverage that well.
Yeah. Now this is huge, so I want to talk about this. This is, I think, the main reason I brought this match specifically. At the start, the reason I sleep the 10-mineral fairy was because obviously I don't have a way to hit the 10-mineral fairy, so like while I can get rid of the rigor deal, at this point on this turn, I don't know if I could have won, but I definitely had a shot here if I just killed rigor deal and then just started attacking 10-mineral fairy while it was asleep. I kind of assumed it would have Sucker Punch, right? I kind of assumed it would Sucker Punch Bandert.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, okay, just to prevent that from happening, as long as I put them both to sleep, I'm okay. But then he has the Lumberry. And I think this is a crazy good play from Hamster.
This is insane prep.
Because he recognizes, as you said, Puppist, one of the best things Puppist does is, very fast, very accurate sleep. And just recognizing that and just bringing into it, and boom, that's going to be the match there, because at this point, and the wake up for fun, the one turn sleep because it's fun. But yeah, that is going to be the match. One other thing I want to bring up that I thought was really funny from match 2 is this Melomynus is running Power Herb Shadow Force, which insane bring, hilarious bring, and perhaps even more hilariously, Juster lives those.
That is hilarious. Isn't Shadow Force physical and Melomynus is mostly a special attacker?
Melomynus is actually it's a complete mix attacker. Both of its both of its attacking stats are equal. And it's truly just like, which one do you want to go into? You can flex or you can just like choose one. But it's kind of impossible to know before a match what direction it's gonna go.
Yeah, sure.
Unless you are very like unless you are very bulked up one way, then it's probably going to go the other way. But
that's a prime reversal energy candidate.
Exactly.
Right there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you max out that speed, and then you put like you can really do that. It's good. Honestly, it works as a flex attacker too. But anyways, that's going to be this matchup. Any final thoughts before we move on to you?
I'm realizing right now that I have to think up 4 nicknames for the theming next week.
Yeah, good luck next week. That's your chance, man. That's your only chance to win the season.
Pretty much. And it's not gonna happen. I have to, I think, beat Hamster and hope that Hamster suffers enough
differential loss. Yeah, he's really high on differential right now.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if we're planning on handling a tiebreak or just going by diff for the lead.
Well, yeah, it would be wins, diff, and then kills, and then head-to-head record. So you would need to have to beat him on diff if you guys both ended 5-1. Or
so
6-1.
By that logic, I guess I won TDD Season 2. Sweet.
There you go. All right. So next matchup, you versus Peanut. Tell me what you're thinking. What's your thoughts on going into here?
Yeah, I recognized, I think, when I was doing my little prep for this, that in addition to Boggle being the best thing ever, and that I need to respect it, Angrief was something that I was pretty afraid of. Also, crap, I'm forgetting the name. I'm failing my analyst role. The Umbrella.
Oh, Karaskai, yeah.
Karaskai, thank you. Yeah, I was afraid of Karaskai. My team's pretty vulnerable to flying types in general. It's not necessarily about hitting them. It's just taking flying damage is not my strong suit. I have no resists for it. And then yeah, the Angrief being Seal Fairy also means that I need to use fire, ground, and
I think that's it.
Yeah, just fire and ground. I feel like there's one more. But maybe I'm crazy. Anyway, I have neither of those in stab. So
Well, you do have blue
those
flare.
two I was stab.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, blue flare is a good move.
Blue flare is a good move, and I did run it. I'm pretty sure. But yeah. So I was afraid of those two primarily, and then I was afraid of Boggle so far as being trapped with the Kara Sky more so than the Boggle itself. I did not put enough respect on Efagrieve, which we will get to.
Efagrieve is very strong. Notably, so unlike the previous game, which is game 1, so we didn't have any information. This is game 3, right?
Yes.
So what has
been
revealed at this point? I know before the match you were saying, "Ain't no way he runs Trick Room into me," followed up by 2 games of hard Trick Room.
Right.
So
I did expect there was a potential for Trick Room, but I talked myself out of the likelihood of it because I'm thinking to myself, I have very strong priority Pokemon, and it's tough to really excuse the whole ordeal of setting up Trick Room if I can just click Extreme Speed or Fading Kiss or Burst Impression. But he does that anyways, and it was, I think, a good call because it was like both game 1 and 2 were crazy close.
Game 2, I actually don't remember if he went TR or Tailwind. Do you remember? I remember game 1 was TR. I don't remember.
I think game 2 and it started with me leading with the Imposter, which duplicated the
Kara Sky.
I cloned the Kara Sky, so I think it scared him out of clicking Trick Room because I do think he was going for it.
I see.
With that lead.
Gotcha.
I don't know. It's flexible. He was definitely running Tailwind though. Yeah. My game plan, I think, was basically just to try to prevent Trick Room from going up, and then I assumed if I did that, I could probably just win off of raw power. But if Trick Room did go up, I did have a contingency, which I was keeping secret until this game. Like, it had not been revealed yet, and we'll see that when it comes up.
Okay. What about Form Peanut side of things? What do you think he sees as the biggest threats here?
I think I have a lot of very big hitters. I think like it's important to have something that can switch into Maracnid and to Sugarcorn's stabs, which he does have a ghost type, which means he needs to have a good answer to fighting. Boggle is kind of that answer, and I think like to an extent you have the Angreef, which doesn't resist fighting, but like it can throw out the Spirit Breaks. So I think that's a priority for him, is to get rid of Sugarcorn, and I think, as you maybe talked about, the bug weakness. This is something I think you talked about in the recap that came out today. The bug weakness on his side means that he does have to respect the first impression potential.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then, of course, like I've been showing every single week, I'm brainlessly clicking Rage Powder on Mellowwave, so you need to have a way to get around that with like safety goggles or just something that's going to kill it outright.
Tropiclaw. He does. Tropiclaw as a grass type. He doesn't care.
It does ignore that. I'm not particularly worried about Tropiclaw's stabs, although I guess it just hits hard neutrally into a lot of stuff.
It does have. I think I talked about this in the recap as well. It does have Terragard Body Press, which is particularly scary because he can Earthquake, and he can just start smacking. He can just start hitting. How do you deal with?
I think that did happen.
Oh yeah.
Game 1.
Oh, nice. How do you deal with Jetsum here? Because I feel like Jetsum is particularly threatening. Is it just strong priority? Because you don't really have anything to beat
I was
it.
Expecting Rain, to be honest, which didn't end up coming, and so I was trying to find ways to deal with like the setup. That was part of the inspiration for having Imposter on Impester, because I wanted to basically say, okay, if you go for all your stat boosts, I'm going to take those now. And the Scarfed Impester with the stat boost theoretically could kill Jetsum in the Ditto, as long as it wasn't Lightning Rod,
right?
Which it wasn't this week. So that was my plan for that. But Rain didn't end up coming, so once I realized that, I was a lot less afraid of Jetsum in general.
That's fair. Alrighty, let's play this one out.
So I don't think this is the same lead that I had the other games. At this point, I had already assumed that there was a Covert Cloak on the Trick Room setter, which was the case. It actually hadn't been revealed. By the way he was playing, I was assuming that I shouldn't try to fake that thing out.
This is not the first time you've tried that, right? You know that doesn't kill, or is that because I remember you multiple times try the triple axle. I think maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, so I was saying the fake out wouldn't work, but yeah, the triple axle itself I knew would leave it around this percent. So I could have clicked the Draining Kiss into it, but I also wasn't sure at this point if there was going to be a protect potentially from it. So I didn't want to double up into it too hard. Sash is coming in handy, I think, every one of these 3 games. Just because it's so frail, it almost always procs.
A solid switch into Moroccan knowing there's going to be TR.
Yeah, I didn't have any way to avoid taking the spiky shield damage here. He was running 4 moves that would have hit there.
Yeah.
But yeah, get some good damage. This is where I said like I didn't really respect the Ephigreave. I looked at the rest of his team and I was primarily saying, okay, if I take out the Angreef, he doesn't have a great way to kill Bomboros.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't realize that Ephigreave gets Smart Strike, and I also didn't realize that it would take me as many hits as it did to whittle the thing down with its Cosmos brand.
Mm-hmm.
Or Cosmicus, I don't know how to say that.
I will note, Smart Strike, despite what it sounds like, is not actually a slashing move, so it is not boosted by sharpness.
Interesting. Okay, I'd assumed it was.
Yeah, I would assume that too, right? So it's a Japanese thing where the Japanese name is like Horn Strike, so it's actually a horn. Yeah.
Kartana's move originally too.
That's possible, but Kartana doesn't have sharpness, notably. But yeah.
But it is a giant sword origami Pokemon. Anyway.
Yeah. But no,
so yeah,
it is not. So it's probably kind of like I was saying with the Sludge Bomb Mega Launcher. Like it's just never worth it. So I kind of doubt he's running that.
Yeah, but I could have thrown a move into this here with a Bug type, and that might have gotten the kill. But instead, I try to get Chip on the Angreef.
That's fair. I will say this was news to me. The fact that you can heal off of a substitute.
Yeah, I think it makes sense considering it is like comprised of HP.
Yeah, it's not something I've ever thought about. Fun fact about Cosmicus brand that I realized literally last night while I was nerfing it in the next Rifts update. It's actually stronger in Showdown than it is in game. In game, it's 12.5%. In Showdown, it's only 10%.
Nice.
But either way, we're nerfing it.
Yeah,
so I'm guessing
it's
you're just trying to kill the Angreef?
Yeah, and I did underestimate how much health it would get back. I thought, like, cool, it's low health, I can Draining Kiss it, but it got back, like, what, 40% from that Bitter Blade?
Yeah.
So now it's become a problem. I'm afraid that if it has Smart Strike, it can I thought it was going to be able to OHKO, but knowing that it's not sharpness boosted, it probably wouldn't have ever done that. But really, it's Bomboros versus the world. He just has a lot of Pokemon left that struggle to hit it now that Angreef is gone, and I'm running degenerate stall moves on this thing.
Well, that's how you play it. I love the use of Protect to limit your healing.
I thought he was also trying with that last double protect, trying to deny me a differential point. Like it would have given the Cosmos brand a kill instead of me.
That's fun. But yeah, against 2 dark types, like literally, what the hell are you gonna do against Bomboros? It heals too much. It has too much HP. Oh, frankly, like you're saying, you already scouted no Hurricane. Hurricane doesn't matter.
Yeah, Hurricane wouldn't have mattered. It was also running Will-O-Wisp, or maybe it was Chill-O-Wisp, I think. So I could have even whittled down its damage more. So I think it was very capable of doing that 1v3, assuming there was no coverage that could have broken through it.
Yeah, and I don't think Karaskai, because the only things you're weak to, yeah, I mean, Icy Wind, Blizzard, I don't think it's running either of those. It certainly doesn't get any poison moves, and I don't think it gets any steel moves.
Yeah. So
yeah, Bomboros against those two, that's kind of a free win at that point. All right, any final thoughts on this match before we head to the next one?
This whole set of 3 was like combined like 40 turns or something like that.
Well, yeah, mainly because of the first one.
The first one was 20 of them, yeah. The first one, for those who didn't watch it, ended up being 2 very bulky Pokemon, both with spiky shield.
Softly caressing each other.
Yeah, both with like only things that were resisted. Yeah, just throwing moves at it.
Plus you had Strength Sap.
I had Strength Sap, which does not make contact, so I could just spam it into the obvious spiky shields without punishment. Which
it was healing you and lowering his attack so that he couldn't kill you, and like it just made everything go even longer.
Yeah, it was basically like 8% hits over and over again from Leaf Blade into the Angreef, and then I got a couple crits which sped it up, but I don't think made the difference.
Imagine if you ran the poison move instead.
It would have probably lost me the game, because I think we talked about, like, even though I probably would have won the PP war, I would have continuously lowered his attack, which also lowers successive strength sap healing. So I think in the end he would have outdamaged me with Iron Head.
Alrighty, let's go into this one. So this is game 2 for Post versus Burnt. In game 1, we saw a very early Sandstream plus Sand Rush from Maracable. Maracable looks like it's loaded dice, just kind of rushed through Post's team very quickly. So Post hasn't really revealed all too much at this point, but Burnt has revealed the Maracable and Cronula sets. So what are you thinking in general? I like this, not Discrum, I like Silmarun here for obvious reasons.
What are those obvious reasons?
It's a rock type. It gets Shatter Pulse, which goes through Protect, and it gets Diamond Storm, which hits both guys that are weak to rock, which is notably everybody.
Those are definitely good obvious reasons. Yeah, the fire type loading up is always going to struggle and to spread rock type damage. So yeah, Silmarun's looking really good. I think that like the fire resist from the dragon type over there is really good. Like I really just has a lot of fire resist between Regalia, Carteridge. Yeah, so I think the fire type offense is going to struggle here. It's only probably here so that it can nuke Co-Crush, which you never want Co-Crush to have more than like 2 turns to smile at you.
But the thing is, I don't think you're even running fire into Co-Crush because you can just run like Air Slash because you have a flying type here.
Yeah, but I think you'd want coverage, like
sure, yeah. I see what you're saying, but
I think like Violent isn't gonna just have Jet Punch. It's gonna probably have Flare Blitz.
Yeah, of course, yeah. There will be Fire Step on the team certainly, but it's weaker here than it normally would be.
Yeah, speed control is interesting here because we have the potential Chronokinesis. I don't remember if that was revealed, or you said it was
It was Sandstream, so we know that it's yeah.
Trick Room then. But yeah, I was thinking like we have a speed booster and we have a speed dropper on the other side, so there could have been some funny interplay there, but not this time.
Yeah, I don't even think it's going Trick Room because I mean, it's not Chronokinesis, but it is giving Maracable speed because it's Sand Rush.
Yeah.
All right. What about from Post? What's he seeing as the big threats here?
Let's see. I don't remember exactly what was revealed from these sets, but like Funk Alvin does get Rage Powder, so there's potential redirection. You do have several ways to deal with it, namely the Excelicuda can do pretty well into it. You have Poison type stabs from Regalia, and it's notably just kind of frail.
Yeah, and Co-Crush again flying or grass type, so doesn't have to hit Funk Alvin if it doesn't want to.
Yep, that's a good point. Yeah, so I think there's potential there. Knowing that the stand is out, he also has to obviously respect the sweeper on that side, which is pretty scary. Grass Fire isn't like the best stab here, but it can notably do some raw damage and threaten maybe an Oko onto Silmarun if it gets all the hits of Bullet Seed.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, this is I'm not sure if this. I think this was revealed in game 1, but that's Sash Silmarun, so Bullet Seed will go through that. I thought it was pretty funny in game 1. It ended up ending super quickly, but I saw the sand go up, and then Silmarun came out. I'm like, hey, he's getting the boost. And it ended up not mattering, but.
Well, yeah, that wouldn't be a boost to the defense, so.
No, that'd be Spadef for everything else. If Maracable wasn't on the field, it would be better. I think, yeah, Excelicuda, I think, revealed Dragon Ascent game 1. I'm not entirely sure. That might have been this game. So, alrighty, let's see how this goes. This is, I think, fun. So at this point, Post is like, okay, the sand is here. Yeah, same lead from Burnt. Why fix what ain't broke?
Yeah,
we go for the Rain Dance.
That's excellent. Yeah, I'm glad that he had some prep for weather, considering the 2 types of weather that Burnt often likes to bring.
Yeah. And then just destroying it. Thank you, Co-Crush, for, being the GOAT every once in a while.
Yeah, interesting, like, very good, I think, calling a Protect maybe, because if you hadn't seen the Protect come out, that could have been still, like, that would have gone before the Rain Dance, so you would have still had a very fast option to just nuke Co-Crush.
Yeah, and who was that? That was Regalia. I mean, Maracable probably not killing Regalia in 1. Or actually, yeah, we literally see it right now doing 50. So
well, I was saying, but the Co-Crush was in that spot prior, and if it throw out like a Flare Blitz, it might, I don't know, it might kill Co-Crush.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like. Well, I don't think so. Maracabre's physical attack is only like 91, and Kokrush is very physically bulky. So I think unless you're using a flying type move, which Maracabre doesn't get, you are at best doing a 2-shot. I mean, just for the sake of comparison, last week we saw Gridlug attack Kokrush with a physical poison move, and it did not kill. So if
Gotcha.
if Gridlug can't do it, Maracabre can't do it.
Noted. Yeah. Cold
Yeah.
Crush is a little bulkier than I thought. I guess
Yeah.
it looks like it should be. I suppose it is kind of squat.
Yeah, on the special side, it's pretty weak, and I mean honestly, a physical flying move probably fucks it up. But for just 2x weakness, it usually lives that.
Yeah.
Insane fun Galvin set. I love how frequently Burnt is like, I don't care about redirection. I want to murder. I have murder in my heart.
It is funny how the two Rage Powder users are both like murderous, actually.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Shatter Pulse
there.
there. Yeah, just like seeing that, being like, okay, I'm curious what Burnt was thinking about. I'm guessing Burnt simply forgot about Shatter Pulse, because I think he actually says in chat after this, like, oh right, Cronula is not the only mon that gets that. But I'm curious if you weren't assuming that, were you just expecting you're probably expecting like Carterage, which probably has Swift Swim, attacking into Maracabre and killing it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. But like knowing the Protect was on the set, targeting that down with Shatter Pulse was excellent.
smart play. Again, Fun Galvin just killing, just taking names. Meanwhile, not dying from the head smash.
Yeah,
Swift
I
swing,
definitely
yeah.
wouldn't look at Fun Galvin and I don't think it would give me fear right away, but it's proving itself as like a potential just
I think
cannon.
I think what Fun Galvin does that is notable is it's kind of in the same realm as Boggle, where it's not actually that strong. Its special attack is like 97, but it's strong enough while being super bulky.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like you probably aren't killing it, and it's probably not killing you either from full, but it's gonna do a fuck ton of damage, which, you know, as we saw, follow up to Bullet Seed, follow up to Recoil, yeah, it can kill. Here we get the Rage Powder. Didn't actually matter, notably, because that is a grass type, so that's gonna be the match. But even if that, I mean, honestly, it was dying anyways. The Summon was the fastest thing on the field, so what the Fun Galvin did there didn't really matter. But at the end of the day, the Moonblast is going into that slot anyways, and then Kokrush can just ignore that and kill the Violent. But yeah, that's gonna be the game. Any final thoughts on this one?
No, I think it was well played from both. Like we do see Kokrush come out on top, but I think there were worlds where it could have gone the other way.
Yeah, I like that Burnt kind of, this is what we were talking about at the beginning, where it's like, how much do you prep into the opponent versus how much do you prep for yourself? Burnt, and we saw this in game one, absolutely panning out, kind of just do it, like, working to what his mons do best, where it's like, you get the sand, you get the speed boost, you just start taking names, whereas Post is very much going the other direction of, like, specifically bringing rain, which the team would otherwise definitely not do, like, it's not his go-to, but doing that to get rid of the weather, and then in this case it panned out, but otherwise
I think a
Burnt
more
had a strong
nuanced
strategy.
take on what I had said earlier was really like there are certain teams that benefit heavily from running their own game plan. I think weather teams are obviously one of those, and that on the flip side of that, those same teams invite counterplay, invite targeted prep like anti-weather, that kind of thing. So yeah, having that in the back pocket, which like we didn't see that come out in game one. I don't know if it's because he was like secreting it for later or what, but like
I think there
having that in
just
your
wasn't a
back pocket-
chance. I think there just wasn't really a chance. Like he didn't realize how dangerous the sand was going to be initially. But
yeah, and Post did go on to win game 3, so that was his first set win of the season.
And then
Congrats to him for that.
we'll see next week. We'll talk about how Burnt gets his first set win against me next week.
Well, yeah, I won't be doing that. You'll have to cover that with Hamster. I'll be out. But yeah.
Oh, Hamster's gonna
Looking
be out
forward
too. It's another solo week. Yippee! All right. Final match here of Lynx versus Meteor Bower. This is game 1, I believe. looking at this, I like Poison here. I like Erland Fire here. It has a really strong matchup into Refruin, into Silhouette, and into... I mean, obviously it loses to the ground-type moves that Debriston can do, but I feel like this is a good, potentially a good Sludge Wave angle.
Yeah, I mean, there's zero resists to the Sludge Wave.
Well, there is an
ground
immunity.
type with Corrosion?
Oh, well, if it's running Corrosion. Yeah, that's fair. This one, I think, is running Weak Armor. This is a Shell Smash Weak Armor set with Sash.
I see.
But, I mean, honestly, like, I don't think... I mean, at that point, with Steel types, like, Fungalvan has very good Fire-type coverage. So I feel like, honestly, you're just better off clicking that, unless you are very... Like, with the Sludge Wave, it's like you want the double target, but it's just not doing enough that you're just going to get killed back in response.
Well, actually, as the analyst, I have to say, Fungalvan gets 0 Fire-type coverage. That is actually Erland Fire.
Did I say Fungalvan?
Yeah, you did.
Oh my god. Bro, cancel this guy. He doesn't even know his own guys.
Exposed.
Exposed.
Anyway, but yeah, I think Erland Fire is very scary into this match, just because even if he's not running Corrosion, then you have basically one answer to it, and it's somebody who also takes the Fire-type damages. Fire-type not very well.
Yeah, looking at speed control in this match, I mean, Meteor Bower clearly has the upper hand. He's got, you know, very consistent Tailwind. He's got pretty consistent Trick Room, and he's also got Chronokinesis. Vlinx, on the other hand, doesn't really have any of that. He has Icy Wind and Extreme Speed, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think that's the story of Lynx's season, is he didn't really draft any speed control. He was going to rely a lot on redirection, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know that was a thought at the time, and then I think that was more of an after the fact, being like, oh, Concerta is my everything.
Yeah, it's also like, this is a very limited draft pool. There were not a lot of Tailwinders available. There were 2 Chronokinesis users, and you're pretty much left with like Trick Room mode at that point, or niche things. Like, I'm using freaking Pledge moves because I don't have a Tailwind setter. Yeah, that's what I've resorted to.
Yeah, and because, like, I would say, like, Sticky Web, which a few mons get, would be potentially good, except that we're in a 4v4 format where it's like hazards are just not worth most of the time.
Well, I think I managed to get Sticky Web value, but yeah, I think generally.
No, you took me down with Sticky Webs. I'm not saying they're useless. I'm just saying...
Yeah.
I'm just saying they're not as effective as they would be in a 6v6 format.
Right. Yeah, but in general, speed control definitely goes to Meteor Bower here for the advantage. And looking at the actual, like, the offensive tools that he has brought, Ref Ruin, I think Ghost Fairy is just generally going to hit very well into most things. I can't see anything here that's going to resist both.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess,
right.
Not resist, but yeah, I mean, Erland's not taking a hit anyways, so yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. I think we definitely should be afraid here of the, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to remember the names and they don't come to me.
Who?
Debriston.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say name a guy, or not name a guy.
My neurons were firing all at the same time. It was overstimulating. The Debriston over here is certainly going to be tough to take down. I think, like we said, there is options, especially with Reverie's flexing its coverage. It could run the flying type Oblivion Wing, which it's done several times.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good move.
It's a really good move to have, just like magically acquire stab for this thing and then ditch it whenever you want. Old Protean was something else.
Yeah. One thing, so looking at, like, before this matchup, I'm looking at Lynx's team and I'm thinking, oh, this is pure dishearten food, right? Like, there's so many special attackers you can just dishearten. But, like, thinking about it, Meteor Bower didn't bring it, and I was like, huh, that's surprising to me. I don't know if it was running Will-O-Wisp, but Prankster Will-O-Wisp, actually, no, never mind. I was going to say Prankster Will-O-Wisp is nice because you can hit you can make both of the physical attackers that Vlinx relies on so much a dead space, but you actually can't do that to Mob Scare because it's a dark type. So never mind. But I think really the big issue with what's the word I'm looking for? With Tailwind here is a Gouget lead does, I'm pretty sure, just kill unless Ballerate is sashed. Extreme Speed just kills it.
Yeah.
So you like that is really something that Meteor Bower needs to look out for. I think it hits very well. The levitate makes it so Debriston can't hit it super well unless it's packing fighting coverage, which, you know, it can. It's got a really strong body press. But like nothing else on this team, like it can voltaic charge into the silhouette, it can iron head into the Refruin. Demarter isn't even running a fire type move, so the only thing on this team that kind of deals with Gouget defensively is Lunatic.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean, the other thing that's Lunatic is interesting for, I don't know if he's run this yet, but it has Quick Guard, which could protect from extreme speeds elsewhere, or Sucker Punches.
Yeah, there's a few mons with Quick Guard, and I don't think we've seen it this season, which is fair. I kind of expected to see it into you more.
Well, guess who gets Unseen Fist, which just completely breaks Quick Guard.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a good point.
So I don't know if people have been avoiding it because they realize that, or just, you know, not thinking it's worth the. It's kind of like an upper hand scenario where, like, if you're wrong and I just click close combat, it's still a bad call.
That's very fair.
But yeah.
I'm not sure. I did not speak to Meteor Bower at all regarding prep, but I do know on Vlinx's side, Vlinx is kind of going with the thing that we talked about earlier, where it's like just he spent a lot of these weeks, these unsuccessful weeks, kind of like planning into what the enemy can do, and then he was just like, no, I'm just gonna like do what my team is good at, and we're just gonna run with it. So
yeah, I think that's definitely like a good call. Especially with these quick matches. Having a clear game plan going in is good.
So we have to talk about this. The prankster trick of an Iron Ball to make it slower so that Debriston can hit it with a ground type move and kill it.
Right.
Extremely funny specific prep. Unfortunately, you didn't make it outspeed after Iron Ball, so it's just flip turning out of there and leaving.
That is really funny. I wonder how close the speed tie or speed stats were there after the Iron Ball.
We can calc it. Okay, so Debriston's 37, and then I think Gouget's 96. Yeah.
Wow, it's coming down.
Alright, so let's see. So what is that? 37, 96. Let's assume plus speed nature. Where do I put an Iron Ball?
And I'm going to assume that the Debriston was not running 252 Timid.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Because so it looks like it would be lower than 160. So he would have had to put some decent speed investment in even to outspeed after the Iron Ball. Is Iron Ball's half? Is that what it is?
I think
half
so.
Speed? Okay.
You actually need a lot of speed on this thing. Holy shit. You need 204. God damn.
37 is pretty low. It's pretty down there.
Yeah. And then if it wasn't speed nature, which it probably was, it could be lower. But yeah, you did need to invest a pretty significant amount of speed there to outspeed. But I mean, so I understand that you don't really want to do that when you're a bulky mon, but at the same time, if your whole prep is
I think you also just maybe don't expect flip turn, because like it doesn't matter if you get outsped if the thing's staying in, but if it's the fact that it flip turned out is what makes it really.
That's fair. That's punishing. A good point. But I mean, I guess but you don't want it to be able to get off a move at all, right?
You know what else is really funny to me? I think the Cosmicus brand allowed it to live the flip turn, because that would be super effective physical move into Demarter, which I don't think it's allowed to live those.
No, I don't think so. You're right. Yeah. It's very possible. Because that's a 25% boost and it got left with 24% health. I think that's really funny actually.
I think it's pretty good.
That is excellent. That is excellent. What was that? There was something else I was just thinking about this, looking at this calculator. I remember this is another thing I wanted to say. Unlike Life Orb, that does the recoil damage after you do the hit, Cosmicus Brand activates at the end of a turn. So if you use a pivot move on a guy with Cosmicus Brand, you get the extra damage, and you leave before you take the damage.
Is that part of the changes for 3.0?
No, that is intended.
Okay.
That is fully intended.
That's good to know. I don't know if I have too many pivot users, but
you've got some U-turn.
I have U-turn, yeah, but I feel like Shurikworn has four move slot syndrome.
Oh, for sure. It's got shed tail. Not that it should be using that with Cosmica's brand.
No, but yeah, you really want to pack, I think, like both stabs in and something to hit ghosts, and then at that point you're like, okay, my last slot, is it fake out? Is it,
yeah,
you know, whatever.
Completely unrelated. Let's not talk about this match. Let's talk about you. I can cut this part out if this is a spoiler.
We're gonna cut. Yeah,
we're
check the VOD. Destiny Prankster Destiny Bond, also very funny. That's a full health Pokemon that just got taken down.
I mean, that's what you can do. I mean, luckily Prankster Destiny Bond works because it targets yourself and not the enemy.
Yep. Now we have the second ice type in the region, Basket.
Yeah. I mean, that is like, I feel like that is exactly what Contrary needed to do. It sucks that it died in one, but also it allowed Reverie both to heal to full and also to put it out of a bad type for Poltergeist.
Definitely.
So
yeah.
like,
well, I don't think the typing got any better for Poltergeist, right?
What was it before?
It
was ice. Okay. I look at Reverie and I think Psychic type, but you're right.
Yeah, it was ice type already, but
yeah,
in general, I think yeah.
Yeah, you take a bit. You don't want to take a Bitter Blade from it because this thing learns Bitter Blade. And we actually living those.
That is Ghost Aura too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it would have mattered if he double targeted into if Silhouette was not expecting the kill on Gouge It and he doubled into Gouge It. I don't think Reverie loses the 1v1 to who is it? Silhouette? I think because Reverie is especially bulky enough that I think it still wins that 1v1, or at least it would have been a differential point. But yeah, any final thoughts on this one?
No, I think this was a close game. You said this was game 2?
This was game 1.
It was game 1.
So nothing had been revealed yet.
I personally don't recall. I know Blinks ends up winning the set. I don't recall how the other games went.
The game 2 Vudred comes and Vudred finally gets a win. Back chained back to the thing is Vudred is actually a really good mod. It's not that useful on this team.
It's funny because Vudred was something I wanted to draft because I wanted to use it for my Grass Pledge user. And then when it got sniped, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have Impester be my Grass Pledge user, and I will just draft a Water Pledge user, which is why I got Lumarina.
There you go. All right.
But yeah, it's an interesting Pokemon. I think it's one of those that's like, it has an insane ability that just needs something to pair with it. And for what it's worth, I think the Erlenfryer idea of just spamming Sludge Wave would go really hard if that thing wasn't also weak to Sludge Wave. Well, it's neutral, isn't it? Because the Ghost resists. But
I feel like
it's frail enough.
Yeah, you don't want to be Sludge Waving your guy. Yeah, that's the other thing with Concerta too, is like, yeah, Concerta could follow me, but like, yeah, Sludge Wave, it's weak to Sludge Wave. That's always the fear.
The Vudred doesn't get Wide Guard, does it? Because you can Wide Guard protect your own Sludge Wave.
You can? That's hilarious.
That would work. It would work. I don't think he gets Wide Guard.
No, he doesn't. I don't think anything on Blinks' team learns Wide Guard.
Yeah. Interesting. We didn't talk about this, but I think Debriston gets Wide Guard. And
yes.
If Meteor was expecting the Sludge Wave spam, that would have been a good answer.
I mean, Erlen didn't come out this game at all, right? No, so there was no reason to click it. Game. So he might have been running it, but we wouldn't have known. But yeah, that's a good point. Alrighty, so that is going to be all the matches for this week. Any final thoughts before I send you to the Shadow Realm, never to return again to
just
Faedos?
Give me my phone down there or something so I don't get bored.
Okay, yeah, you can watch the future match. Yeah, I mean, you got to make sure that you can lose to Hamster next week, right? So you gotta
do that so that I get booted from my hopes and dreams of winning anything. But in real talk, this week was really close. I think almost half of the game 3s that have happened this season happened this week.
Yep. Yeah, it was week 1 and week 5.
Week 1 was all game 3s. Week 5 was 3, and then we had a single game 3 week 2.
Yeah, in week 2, and that's it.
And it was funny. I think the week 2 one was the first match of the week, so we were fresh off the 4 game 3 streak from the first week. So we were like, this whole season's going off, and then it was like, literally, what was it? 11 straight game 2s.
Yep.
I think yeah.
This week,
So
nice. we actually used the spoiler for Game 3, and there were actual Game 3s to spoiler.
Right, yeah, that got implemented as far back as week 2 maybe, or something like that, and then we didn't actually get a chance to use it until now.
Hilarious.
But yeah, it was pretty good. Good week.
All right, well, glad to have you on. And now off to the Shadow Realm with you. With we'll chain you in next to the Radiator, next to Vudred. You can get Beads of Ruined down there, so have fun.
All right, I'll do my being sucked into the Shadow Realm cry. Ready?